Hello and welcome to The Bike Show. Now this week we've been keeping Don busy and out of trouble. A bit later on he meets and interviews a particular hero of his. But first of all, here he is playing in the dirt.
What we have here is Yamaha's new YZ450F crosser. And when we say new, we mean new. The last time Yamaha gave this model a go-over was in 2014, and subsequent models have received nothing more than mere tweaks. This one, though, has a new chassis, new electronics, a new motor, and a new everything. And when Yamaha decide to go big, they go big. Obviously, testing this new machine is going to require bravery, skill, and determination. Everything we at the Bike Show don't have. So we have once again recruited the services of MX veteran, MX instructor, and MX stuntman, Dylan Smith.
Okay, well, let's go and test this bad boy and see what the 2018 YZ is like. The electric start, already a big plus point.
You heard right, ladies and gentlemen, electric starts on a motocross bike. Previously, that would be a big no-no because having one entails carrying a brick of an electric motor and a brick of a battery, and that affects lap times. But these days, they use special lithium-ion batteries that weigh slightly less than a vegan's lunch. Plus, the technology in electric motors these days mean that the entire combination makes literally no contribution to the overall weight of the motorcycle.
Loads of grunt. Also very responsive motor, so big up from last year's model. Let's see what it's like through the whoops. Nice. It's hard to get used to the airbox noise in front, but it's actually quite nice.
The motor is also completely new with a new clutch and a new transmission that are both smoother and more durable. And then there's obviously the power, and Yamaha has always been famous for making lots of that. But on this model, they've opted for more bottom end and mid-range rather than just flat out max power.
Lovely suspension. Always a test is nice to see if it can turn. Brakes are awesome. I'm really enjoying this. Yeah, it's just hard to get used to the width of the bike. It's slightly wider, but it's just a matter of 2-3 rides and you're into it. I'd have to rate this as one of the fun bikes that I've ridden. Really well done, guys, at Yamaha.
The frame is completely new with new bits of rigidity and new bits of flexibility, culminating in something the engineers like to call rigidity balance, meaning the bike is both more stable and more agile at the same time. Also, they've trimmed its waistline, cutting 16 millimeters from the width of the tank and a massive 19 millimeters from the width of the seat. This is all matched with Yamaha's famous Kayaba suspension that has been reworked for this model. And now we have its big party trick, Wi-Fi. That's right, this motorcycle has its own Wi-Fi. It connects to an app on your phone that can change between 3 preset maps, or you can create your own map. And if you're feeling generous, you can even share these maps with other YZ owners. It also tells you when to do oil changes and other bits of maintenance. It does absolutely everything, except get me a date on Tinder. With all the riding done, Dylan decided to change into something more comfortable, and we retreated to his garden of tranquility for a chat. So Dylan, that looked like fun. Yeah, day on the track, that must be a good time.
Tough day at the office, nothing like it.
So now this new YZ, they've made a whole lot of changes. You look like you enjoyed yourself.
First few laps I wasn't too sure. Yamaha being renowned for being a wide bike, 2018 being totally new, they've gone narrow, which makes a bit of a difference. It is a little bit odd in the beginning because you've got that grunt in the front, where with other bikes, Jap bikes and other European bikes, everything's in the back. So it takes a bit of getting used to, but I did 2-3 clickers harder on the front suspension and I was in sync with the bike. Then I got comfier and comfier. It's a nice, decent, strong bike.
So I imagine what you like about it is particularly the engine. I mean, I remember its predecessor, a lot of people said that their motor particularly is very strong.
I think they've done their homework and research properly on this one, and I think with the whole bring your own device theory and the Wi-Fi that this bike's got on, you can do your own map settings and
everything's improved by Wi-Fi. Yeah.
Oh, magic! You know, so you've literally got a app on your phone. You can sit and play. If you can't figure this thing out, it's got already a factory set map on there for you. So
and Snake and everything. It's brilliant.
all the toys.
Listen, okay, so you already said that they've made it narrow, but it still feels wide, a bit too sort of wide.
It's slightly wider than what the European or any of the other bikes that I've ridden feels like, but it's just a matter of moving your feet, getting used to it, and you actually get into sync with the bike. It's just, I'd reckon, that first 2 laps where you're not so sure, but you're expecting typical Yamaha, very wide, and it has narrowed down, so these are a big plus point.
Okay, what sort of rider would choose a bike like this? Who would you recommend this to?
Power delivery on this bike literally starts from mid through, you know, so, and it tends to just keep climbing from there on. So whether you ride below the power as a entry-level rider, just getting used to it, or you more of an advanced rider riding from the grunt right through, I think this bike will cater literally from a beginner till a pro. It's just getting used to that feel and the grunt and the noise in the front, which makes it different, but I think Yamaha's done their research on this one.
Now, you've ridden most of the motocross bikes. I mean, how would you compare this to, let's just say, the other Jap bikes to start with?
Well, I mean, it's a pity, you know, the other Jap brands are great. They're just not as involved and as focused on the brand.
Yeah, here in South Africa, I mean, Yamaha seems to be the only one who's really kind of playing the off-road game.
That's it, you know, nice to see a bit of blue on the line there, you know. I think it makes things exciting, having a bit of competition out there, and I think it's also going to be exciting with Kawasaki also doing their side now with Craig Lance and them, so it could be exciting to get some green bikes, some colour on the line.
Then, okay, the obvious ones. You've got the KTMs, the Husqvarna, the Austrians. How would this compare against them?
The suspension on this bike is magic. I've got a 2016 FC Husky, and I mean, it's magic strong. It's got everything you want, the hydraulics and everything, but you know, the suspension on them were quite aggressive. This bike in the beginning actually was a bit soft. I was a bit concerned. I still thought, hey, I'm going now way too soft, way too different, but a couple of clickers and I'd rate it up there. It's every single penny's worth that you got there. It looks bling. It's got the nice bling factory wheels. It's really one of those bikes. I think they've done.
How does this feel different compared to the Austrians?
Look, it's just slightly broader. Nice with electric start. Funny enough, it doesn't have a hydraulic clutch, but yet the cable on the Yummies have always been great, so there's no need for a hydraulic clutch at all. So, I mean, I'd rate it up there. It's like I say, you're gonna have to do 2-3 more laps on it just to get used to it, but when you're in it, it's magic, huh?
Okay, I think we're going to end this because I believe this chair is starting to take strain. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Guys, we'll see you after the break.